Hello, everybody. We are back for another exciting episode of Bluecoats. Uh, Thank you for all of you who are tuning in. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Strash. You can find me at Strashay on the Twitters. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm one of the regular streamers here. Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. Personally in New Zealand and feeling a bit jet lagged, but I'm excited to play. I use she, they. I am at the Stray Kiwi on Twitter, and I'm here to have a good time and solve some cases. How about you, Judd?
I'm Judd, he, him, and yeah, I'm curious to see where this last case goes and see where they take it, as always. So let's do it. Let's get to it.
All right.
Heck yes.
Where did we end? Lauren, you said you just watched the last
Yes.
bit of that.
Yeah, I believe we spoke with that very nice lady down at the docks who gave us some intel on tattoos and such.
Yes.
And just prior to that, we had found some clues about a dead body left under the canals, except the perpetrator had literally scratched himself out of history. And that's what I remember.
I remember that I was actually following up on this. We found out that the guy that we knew who had dragged the body in was part of the eight-legged cult, which is some sort of squid
Yes.
cult. Or Leviathan, Kraken. No, wait, no, it's specifically squid. It's not Kraken. They made the distinction about the types of tentacles that were involved. And we found out, I think we found out that he was dead too or something, but, oh no, he was on a boat, but he was on a boat for quite a while. And yeah, the one lead that I had that I was picking at and trying to figure out was, they told me that there were, multiple deaths that involved, I got from the,
Dimmer Sisters.
Yeah, the hint that there were several deaths, and they were so bizarre because they had this soul removal technique done to them. And I believe that I spoke to Poole, who lived in a shack under a bridge, but he didn't, like, I made some rolls, and they went catastrophically. He didn't remember practically anything. But I did remember that there was an investigator at the time, I think, who was assigned to the case that I was gonna go talk to or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I still have a number of other people to look into. Audrey Lamond, who was a factory worker that died under mysterious circumstances as well. Vay Morrison, who was the spider of the Black Silks. Oh, you're right. He's the guy that I'm looking into because he's the one that was tied to Poole, who's the Hound. And Lotting Edrad, who was an ink rake that died 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I got. I don't 100% remember all of my clues, but yeah.
Yeah, those are the leads I've got down.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Did we look into I remember that I looked into the worker, but they did not die in the factory that I was expecting to have to go talk to the foreman that hates me from episode 1. That's the one thing I remember, but I don't remember if I ever actually went to a factory or found out how this person died or when this person died.
No, I don't think you've gone to the Trevon paper mill yet.
Okay, and I remember going to, like, the ink rake central equivalent and talking to some old editor, but I don't remember what I got out of him. He was going to send me papers that they had from back when, but I don't remember what this guy was working on or if I had already gotten the papers.
He did, and he sent you papers. This guy was writing a lot about import and export and black market stuff getting under the lightning
electric
fence.
fences. That's why that's written right next to it. All right, cool. Right, and I had asked, I mentioned that one of the Silver Nails probably knows who's been around at least that long, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How long has Issa been in town?
Good question.
Judd.
We know it's been at least 10 years because we know she was involved in bringing in the original ghoul.
All right, so
Mm.
maybe that's a lead we can pursue. So that's good. Cool. Oh, Audrey Lamont was a factory worker in the Trevon paper mill.
Yep.
I have that
Yep.
written down, but I don't think I've been to the mill yet. All right. So as always, the first question I ask is, what phase are we in? And it says start with Jorb, the eight-legged cult.
Oh, red.
Oh, are we gonna bust up a party?
Dang, Dora brings you back to some Starbucks days.
Yes. All the old references from before the days the internet was a popular thing.
Yes.
All right. So do we have enough clues to go and confront this eight-legged cult, Judd? Do we know where they meet? They have a clubhouse.
I don't think you've got that yet.
Okay. Okay, I see. Legwork, maybe. Cool. Do we know... We do know that they are drawing mostly from dock workers, and they've only become powerful and active recently, is that correct?
I don't think you know very much about them at all.
Great.
I
Let's
feel
go
like,
digging.
yeah.
This is a legwork uptime.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, Lauren? I mean, that's a solid lead we can pursue.
Yeah, I'm down to. Yeah, I think we should just jump on the leads we have presently because I know we spent much of lost time trying to find them, so it makes sense to reel them in.
Cool. So did we find out like what zones they operate in? My memory says Silk Shore, but it might also be the docks. I don't really know.
I don't think. I don't remember anyone telling you.
It's fine. Let's find people to ask questions. I remember that we pressed like old Nan or whatever the lady was. I don't know if we got a hot lead. So when in doubt.
Polonia is the old sweater maker.
Yeah. I'm gonna show up at roll call before all the Bluecoats are assigned to their particular investigators, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna put a push tack with a picture of the squid tentacle on it. I'm gonna turn around and say, one of you should know about the eight-legged cult. Who's gonna make me happy today?
Nice. Nice.
Awesome.
Let's roll. I mean, inspectors is our 3-die thing, right? So let's...
Technically, this is the Bluecoat adjutants to the inspectors. If you want to give them 3 dice, which they leech from the inspectors, that's fine. But I feel like it's 2, and I would be cheating otherwise.
Okay. Yep. Let's see. Cool. I think everyone gathers around and starts chattering. And it starts off as like rumors and guesswork, and a lot of people are assuming the same thing as you, that it should be the docks, right?
Great.
That would
His district is the docks.
Right. But I think it's the absolutely useless liaison from Brightstone, who says, I mean, it's a children's tale, but there's that silly story about the squids under Brightstone. And everyone like stops and says, "What story?" And he goes, "Oh, it's stupid. You guys are just going to rag on me like you always do." And like he starts to walk out, and they're like, "No, come on. We're not going to give you any grief. Come on, man." There's a rumor that the canals under Brightstone go really deep. deeper than they should, and that there's been cult activity there forever, and that sometimes spirit wardens will load up and run into Brightstone, but you don't hear about any busts. You don't really see anything on the surface. And when anybody asks, they're told to hush up. And, you know, if you look at Brightstone, it's built on a hill. So there's something to it. And then I think one of the liaisons is like, "You're right. That's nothing. We're gonna rag on you. Thanks for being
Actually,
useless."
I stand up and I say, that's not nothing. I'm going to go talk to the spirit wardens. And I look at the rest of them and I say, the rest of you had nothing.
Nice.
Now get the hell out of this office and find me something.
Nice.
And I pat the guy on Brightstone and I go, you're not useless. And I just walk out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's like, who are those two useless guys in Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah,
Scully?
I know exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Hitchcock
totally
and
who-
Scully, yeah.
Hitchcock and Scully. Yeah, that's it. He's
Brightstone and
I think-
Whitestone.
Brightstone and White Crown are totally Hitchcock and Scully. Totally.
Nice.
Matter of fact, I might even name them Hitchcock and Scully just
That's
because.
amazing.
Why wouldn't I? Hitchcock is
Awesome.
Brightstone. Cool. Who are you going to talk to in the? Actually, I mean, you can go upstairs. There is a spirit warden liaison upstairs in the Justice Tower. But like,
Nobody told me there was
No-
a spook in our tower.
no one goes there.
I put on my actually, it's really funny because before I go up there, I actually put on my like heavy gear, right? Like with the riot plating and the electro pambo and everything. I'm like, knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, I think you hear inside someone says, "Come in."
I do.
And yeah, the the room is empty, and shuttered, and like the light that's reflecting is reflecting off of a mirror mask, and I am Agent Broken Like the Moon.
Do you mind? Okay.
Would you rather a number? Would that make you more comfortable?
No, I'm fine. Do you know anything about the case that Inspector Tui caught? We have an Imperial mandate that involves a body that's had a soul very carefully removed from existence. I have no idea if you've heard about cases like this before, but specifically, the person that is performing these rituals is working with a group called the Eight-Legged Cult. They're a squid cult, and from what I understand, you folks have had either some encounters with them or understand where they might be meeting somewhere underneath Brightstone. I'm gonna need files on that, or directions.
We'll have the file sent to you.
Cool, yeah. Do you, I just open the blinds so that he's not in the dark. And I look at him and I go, you should let some light in here. It's real hard to see when you're writing. It's bad for your eyes. I, walk out like it's not a thing. But when I close the door, I'm like, spooks. Like the moon.
Cool.
This agent his first or last name. I'm like mumbling as I go down the steps.
Yeah, and I think, you know, an hour later, an Imperial clerk comes with a what are those things you use when you're moving? I can't think of the name of
Oh, the
anything
dolly?
today. I'm gonna be a wonderful GM. I can't think of the name of
Hey, come
Hitchcock
on,
and
you can do
Scully.
this like John Harper. Just imagine a cool scene.
Yeah, just imagine a cool moving implement.
Yeah. What was the thing that you mentioned,
A
Lauren?
dolly.
Oh, a
A
dolly?
dolly.
Like a
Yes. Yes. It is a dolly with 4 boxes of paperwork.
This is gonna be a great day.
And I think yeah, it is one raid after another that's been going on for 20 years.
What kind of body count do they have?
They barely have anything. At one point, they caught one and they took him to a safe house so they could get reinforcements to bring him to the crematorium. And the only opening in the room was a keyhole, and they think he squeezed through that.
Awesome.
It's just a ridiculous series of raids, and you can tell, like, yeah. Anyway, it goes up and down, over the years, but
So they didn't manage to hold on to anyone in custody, is what I'm hearing.
nope.
Okay. And they didn't shift tactics. They just keep trying to net them. Can I
They've
see any? Go on.
No, go on.
Can I see any pattern with like tides or time frames as to like how they time their raids?
That's an interesting one. Make a roll just to collate all this information.
Is there a cunning
something.
roll? Is there? I don't. It's probably something I'm terrible
gotta-
at. But I'm natural born police. Let's take a look here. Character sheet. Pursue, secure, question, control, testify, observe. Observe? It's not
Sure.
secure, it's
Yep.
not pursue, it's not testify. Control, maybe. I mean, honestly, this feels like a savvy roll.
I think observe sounds
observe?
right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna push myself. Let's do this. I assume position is control?
Yeah. Controlled standard, because I think you're just going through all this information and trying to sort it.
Nothing. Oh, awesome. All right, good start. Good start tonight, Dice. Thanks.
Yeah.
Every clue. All right. We good. Nothing. All right, cool. I collate some stuff, but get nada. Unless you want to tell me that there is a risky option for trying to sort this out.
Nice.
Because
Nice.
I think on control you go to risky even on a failure. I have to double check. I might lose the opportunity to act, but I'll double check us so that I'm not lying. Opened a million books since I opened Blades last. Let's see here.
Oh, I hate that.
That's alright. I'm one of those people that usually, whatever I'm working on recently, I just go to like recent stuff you've opened. That's easy enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I will give you a risky option. Absolutely.
Yes, please.
There is a mention of a it's another case that was years ago that you've never heard of, and it wasn't a mandate. It was like an inspector's like pet project. And this one inspector had this, an inspector years ago, Inspector Jedwin. And they had a theory at the time that someone was picking off people who were getting either kicked out of gangs or was killing people right before the gangs ceased to exist, or was he basically had a theory about a serial killer in Duskfall, and it turned out to be true, and he caught him, and that person is locked up in the deepest, dankest hole of Ironhook, and there's one mention of going to talk to them to find out how to find a lead on how to find the eight-legged cult.
Were they related? Like, were they a cult member? Did they found the cult, or are they just?
They were not. The report says that they were an ally of the cult, or the cult was an ally of theirs.
Okay, so we might have. If you're a serial killer, you're generally going to be caught because of the bells, which means that you must, like an assassin, be able to kill either disguising the deaths as something else or being able to silence the bells when you kill. Which tells me that we either have a pupil or this person escaped. Because if the cult is clearly working with someone who, let's call him the Scratchy Man. It may be a woman, I don't know. But the scratchy figure is clearly collaborating with the cult. They don't seem to be a member because of how the cult is talking to them and treating them. So my guess is we're just having a repeat of the performance. So maybe we have to do the same thing. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna go and talk to Inspector Tui. And what have you been up to in general? Because Drava's been cagey and kind of off book. Like we meet, we talk, we exchange information, and then like we kind of dance away. So this is like the first time he's actually like hunting you down a bit.
That's a good question.
Yeah, you were kind of like talking to upper crust people with Telsius, right?
Yeah, that was what I spent a lot of time doing, and got nowhere, to the point of earning the badge of what was it, high society pariah. So, I mean, I think she probably would have been trying to chat to Issa or sort of Silver Nail connections, or lining up like a chat with Suresh or something to sort of dig into the black market activity a bit more, perhaps. And I feel we learned of that last time, but we didn't dig into it, did we?
No, I don't think so. Like we figured out what he was writing about, but we never actually followed up on it. So
but yes, perhaps at the moment maybe going over like any old files on Civarosi that were picked up back sort of 10 years ago for smuggling or something like that.
Cool. I'm sorry. So was that what you were doing? Is that what you wanted to do now?
Yeah, I think for simplicity of narrative, I think like you find Maya like poring over some sort of minor old cases from 10 years ago about sort of Civarosi that were picked up for smuggling or drugs or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because Maya's probably a bit hurt from or trying to talk to the founding families.
If I recall, afterwards, you and I went under a canal and we found the sacrifice spot.
Yes.
Yep.
I thought that was the end of the last game, is where we saw the like scratches in reality.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so all right. So yeah, I think Drav shows up, has papers in hand, and says, "I think we have to go back to Ironhook."
I think Maya nods and puts down the file she was reading and grabs her coat and is like, I'm assuming right now.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think we're probably like walking across town, or whatever, like towards Ironhook when Drav is filling you in, right? Like he says, "How familiar are you with serial killers?"
I think like oh, Maya probably has a to-go cup of mushroom tea or whatever coffee sludge the precincts that the serves. Sorry, the Justice Tower. And I think like shrugs and says, well, the extent of our investigation into assassins is probably the extent of it. Why?
They're very difficult. They don't really exist in Duskwall. They're an anomaly. That's It's not that people don't have the proclivities. It's the fact that we're so paranoid about ghosts, they get caught a lot faster than they would otherwise. Because whenever somebody is killed, the bell rings. So a serial killer tends to create a very predictable set of dongs, and it's very hard to get rid of the bodies because the crows tend to fly over the body until it is picked up. Right?
And let me guess, this particular killer had a way to silence the bell.
I'm guessing. I'm gonna say yes because I don't think Judd would have tossed me the clue otherwise. So yeah, I think I nod and I say there are certain rituals and assassins that are able to bypass this protocol. How, why, I don't 100% know. That's a little bit outside of my jurisdiction. But this person's clearly a bit more than your average duck. They're not just... They're more my kind of monster than necessarily... Drop trails off, but what he means is, like, they're not actually, like, ether-walking supernatural demon creatures that reach back into prehistory.
Yeah, I think Maya like nods knowingly when you would like drop trails off. It's like, yes. Indeed. And I guess we round the corner. We step through like the big gates towards Iron Hook and past the sort of statues in the front yard or what have you.
Yeah.
What is the name of our serial killer, Judd?
Good question.
It's a great question. I think their name was Stricken, and they just had a code word for them.
Ooh.
Wow.
And I'm just trying to find a cool one. Yeah, I think their nickname was, their code name was Trick.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I go to whoever it is that's on desk duty, and
Yeah.
I let them know that we're here to see Trick.
Shit. He I think he like goes to like a horn that you would like see on a ship and is like, I need the warden.
Oh, she's gonna be happy to see us.
Yeah, they've got a mandate and they're calling for Trick. No, I'm not. That's not a joke. Yeah. You can wait in the room. There'll be she'll be down in a moment.
This guy that scary?
I'm not letting you in there without the warden giving you
Oh
the
no,
green
that's
light.
fine. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm getting into. This person is apparently so terrifying they've stricken their name from records. I just want to know what I'm about to look into.
They're in the deepest hole we've got.
Why are they alive?
I don't know.
Okay. Take a seat. I casually look over at Maya and I say, I bet there's a mandate keeping this person. This person's too useful. They still have questions they want to ask them.
Yeah.
Indeed. Frankly, I'm surprised you managed to keep them locked up this long.
Yeah, Warden Moreland comes down to the waiting room, and she says, "Where the hell did you hear about Trick?"
There's an old inspector by the name of Jedwin who decided to leave just enough notes for me to follow some breadcrumbs.
What a pain in the ass Jedwin was. More than a pain in the ass than even you.
Oh, come on now, Warden, you know we're your favorites.
She smiles. Listen, I'm not going to bring you down there. I could, because he's not going to talk to you if we just bring you down. He's going to want to come up and see the horizon.
What's the problem?
You've got full responsibility. You'll take it.
I look at Maya like, what happened to the last people that talked to him?
Remember when the Leviathan attacked?
Yeah, of course. It's flood
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Put all your weapons in this bucket. And she gets a clipboard and she says, write down what's there, sign it, date it. I'll make sure it all gets back to you when this is done.
Are you sure you want me in a room with him with no weapons?
After last time, you're definitely not going in there with a weapon.
Last time, my pistol is what kept both me and a prisoner alive. I'm specifically referencing the time we were in the water.
No, I know. You guys are a pain.
Yes!
I think Maya's hand, like, it was poised over her, like the bone knife, and then, like, she had one hand going for, like, the other, like, her whip. And sort of, I guess, breathes a sigh of relief.
They bring you to a tower. Matter of fact, it's the first tower where the shooting happened that first night, and there is a skinny little scarecrow of a man chained to a corner. I think he's like sitting and like his leg, he has one leg crossed over the other. And
I look at the guard, because I assume a guard brings us here, right?
Yeah.
And I point at the chains and I go, are those really necessary?
Yep.
Maya, what do you think? Is it worthy of a friendly gesture to see if I can convince this person to unchain him? Is that
Well, it sounds like a terrible idea, so I'm inclined to say yes.
perfect? I look at the guard and I say, "There's an iron-bound door between you and him, and there are no exits from this room other than a several 100-foot drop off that parapet." I'm like, "How about you give me the key, and I'll take his chains off, and you don't have to open the door until they're back on again." And I'm happy to make a roll to convince him of this.
Yep. Make a roll.
Great. I
I
don't think I'm relating because he's terrified. I'm probably exploiting. Oh, go
I
ahead.
can
Sounds good.
lend you a helping die, I feel like.
Sure, let's do that. Is this risky, controlled, desperate? What's my effect?
Uh, controlled standard.
Okay, perfect.
I think might help us to the effect of like, look, we infiltrated Rowan Tower. We took down the entire gang of folks that were taking Ghoul in and out of the city. I think we can handle it one man.
This is probably the worst idea we've made in the game so far.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. This is gonna be amazing.
It is an absurd crit. 666.
Yes.
Let me switch
Wow,
the
this-
screen so
Holy
that
cow.
everyone can see this. Yeah.
That was almost 4.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Wow, yeah. He gives you the key and says, I mean, I feel like he gives you something, right? He's like, he likes to think that he's smarter than everyone. So,
He's so smart. He found himself the deepest hole to live in.
he would be the first one to point that out.
Okay. Good. I'm gonna wait. I'll keep my word. I'm gonna wait until the guard is out and the door is securely fastened and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I think you are all like locked up at the top of the tower.
So how do you want to do this, Maya? Do you want to interrogate him and have me chirp in with questions, or do you want me to talk and then have you chirp in with questions and observations?
Ooh, that's a good question. My actual question action is 2, and then I am fairly good at observing and such. I'm good to go in and lead some questions.
Okay.
If that feels appropriate. I feel like Drop is has more of a knack for speaking to folks of various shady histories.
That is very true. So if you want, I can open and then we can pass back and forth. That's also plausible.
That sounds good.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think that sounds good.
Great. Let's try relate with this like a serial killer. So I think I think I do his manacles.
Thank you.
I take a look at him and I say, they wanted to get rid of you so bad, they didn't even write down your name. And I say, my name is Drav. You are?
What name did you run across to get here?
Trick, I think.
Ah, the Jedwin files.
Yes.
Not the deepest inspection of my work. It's good to know how you got here. How can I help you, Sergeant Duran?
I didn't give him my last name. Does he know it, or is he? Or did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just...
yeah. You know it. He knows it.
Oh,
Ah,
good.
dang!
This is I give him the like well played look, right? And I say,
I do get the newspaper.
oh, wow. Apparently the newspaper's delivered further down. The ink rakes would be delighted to know. I will pass that on. We're here about a series of deaths that involve people's souls being severed from their body, and a collaboration with something called the Eight-Legged Cult, which is proving oddly elusive.
What do you think?
I think that I'm here to ask you about your killings. I think that if I were to tell you what I'm working on in my case, I'm not going to get very far. So I want to know what your relationship is and or how it relates to what you did. But if what you really want to do is talk about a deeper examination of your work, I have a lot of paper and a willingness to listen.
I'd like to hear about your case, about your mandate. That sounds like a fun exercise.
Why do I feel like I'm being played?
I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
Boredom is a killer.
So's being stymied on a case.
I
Or
bet.
actually, no. Draft Snappy comeback is so are you. He looks right at the guy and he says, "All right, I'll give you I'll tell you a component. We know that the athletic cult tattoos its members with squid tattoos. They're fairly identifiable. Unfortunately, the only member that we know for sure of is currently on a boat to the middle of nowhere for several months. But I think what I really want to tell you about is a particular body we found. And I think Drav is actually going to describe the ritual that happened in that cove with how the guy was killed.
Let's back up. Your case has run aground of a cult. Did you ditch your spirit warden liaison, or did you make some kind of administrative acrobatics to leave them behind?
We don't have one.
That's interesting.
Politics may have changed a bit since you entered these four walls. I'm not sure that they like write down all the details on police procedure in the Inkrake sheets.
Have you requested any backup?
I tilt my head and I go, clearly the papers don't tell you a whole lot about the cases we work on.
I don't know everything.
I once faced a wizard. I am totally like trying to draw his gaze to me so that Maya has like the most open view. And I say, I once had to face a ancient spirit possessing a body that called itself a wizard that also had half a dozen other people that were possessed. It's a day on the job.
I must seem pretty mundane in comparison.
Well, not at all. Someone who has the capacity to silence the bell is extremely interesting. And I imagine either very well connected or very talented, or both.
So the question is the eight-legged cult?
I don't suppose you're going to give us a name as to who is actually ripping the souls out of these people.
Unless we could perhaps make it fun for you.
It's a good observation, Lauren. High five.
How can we make this fun for you, Mr. Trick? I imagine you are, as you have implied, rather bored just reading the news written down on paper as opposed to seeing it in person.
I could be more of a help if I could see the body myself. But that would mean getting me out of here. Taking responsibility for me.
That's not gonna happen. I think I think Drob actually laughs. I think what he says is, "You have no idea what it took to just see you here."
Edward, this is the body of Mr. It's a Skinner, like the person we found in the river, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Can I? This is really. I have a really bad idea. Can I like try and attune with Mr. Trick to show him an image of it in my mind?
You can, but he says, I'm not sure I understand why the Undying Emperor cares about this Skinner.
That is a puzzle. I just look at him real blank.
Show you like a good puzzle mystery trick.
I do. I do.
Perhaps by the time we unravel everything to the bottom, we will understand the answers to most of these questions.
New crews are being born in Duskwall every day. You know that. Some of these crews are assassins, and some of them can get around. They can throw up the Crow's Veil, as I did. And some can bring about the Ember Death, destroy a victim's spirit at the moment they kill them. Sever it, if you will. So it could just be a new garden variety criminal on the up and up.
It's not.
But for some reason, you don't think so.
Mm-mm. We've been through very non-garden variety criminals very quickly. Whoever is doing this is very patient and methodical.
So it wasn't a job.
No. No, it definitely wasn't. Skinner is too small and too unimportant. Not aligned with any specific gang. Very... Body was carefully allowed to float out. There is entirely too many pieces here that indicate that it has less to do with the casual assassination that people hire between each other. Besides, nobody here is a great big player yet. So, the kinds of people that have the sort of money to hire other gangs to do their work are a little bit above street grade. And Skinner wasn't. So, this is a very different equation. How did you learn to do what you learned? There isn't some secret teacher that lives on an island somewhere that everybody goes to pick up crow's veils and ember deaths.
There is not. You have to figure it out.
Oh, good.
You have to work backwards and understand the spirit wardens and how and why they were founded. You have to be a student of history.
Okay.
It takes research. It's all out there. You just have to find it. I'm sure you've...
Were you a spirit warden?
No. No.
Figured I'd ask.
It's worth asking.
What were you then? How would you classify yourself?
No one's born an assassin.
I don't think I was an assassin. I think... I don't know. We're not going to talk about my childhood. I was a troubled young man. That's what most killers are. So we keep coming back to Skinner.
Yes.
He's a floater. A floater who got the Emperor's attention. I don't imagine that you've garnered enough political capital that you could get a mandate called for your own personal look-see. So I'm going to have to assume that this Skinner has some significance to the Emperor.
You could say he has something on the Emperor, yes.
The Eight-Legged Cult is very interesting. I'm sure if you were in the Jedwin files, you saw the raids, how difficult they are to catch.
Why are they so difficult to catch?
Look at what they worship.
A squid? I mean, I have some on the morning trip in to the city. It's not exactly an elite beast that avoids all capture. They cook it in the docks.
Some get caught, but there are old ones, smart ones, ancient ones even.
Why did you work with the cult?
They were very helpful in finding escape routes. I knew I'd be caught one day. I was hoping to have one little trick so I could get out. And I was one trick short.
All you got stuck with is the name.
And I got stuck with that damn name. But it's good. Having lots of names is good. It allows me to know the path that the people who come to talk to me have taken to get to me.
What do you want to be known as?
I have no illusions that I'll be known as anything at all. I have made mistakes. That's why I'm here. That's why I have to depend on the kindness of City Watch liaisons to unchain me while I have my moments in the breeze. Talking to a very smart blue coat and a very charming inspector. Why did you feel you had to have weapons? Especially with what Inspector Tui is packing.
Well, frankly, I don't trust Morn with my my weaponry. It's very close to my heart.
Hmm.
Or
I give him a very, very solid look, and I say, the last time I talked to someone, an ex-Imperial assassin tried to drown me. And the only reason I got out is because I had my weapons on me. This has nothing to do with you.
Yes, I heard about that. That was very kind of you to stay with and offer him a cigarette. The guards thought it meant you were soft.
I see. The thing is that Drav doesn't need to prove anything to this man, and
Right.
Drav has had the head of Ironhook in a small basement room, so I think he just gives him a very small, knowing smile and says absolutely nothing, and says, "So, Squid Cult, how do we find them?"
yeah, speaking of stories, I hear there are some child's tales of squids underground in the canals.
The under canals under Brightstone, that's what I hear. That's where I
What do you
found them.
hear? What you know?
That's where I found them.
How did you find
If
them?
they
Do you have a route? Do you have a place? Do you have a person that takes you there? Gondolier, maybe? They say there are some of them that actually know the old city routes.
I put word on the street that I wanted help formulating an escape route. And then I went looking for them. They really found me, but I was making a go of making it look like I found them. I paid them some coin. Why didn't you put Moreland away with the rest of your case when you took down the Rowans? You had her dead to rights on murder. You know the rifleman shot from right here. And yet you let her walk.
I feel like we've come a long way since then. I barely just entered the city.
A rookie mistake.
I couldn't agree more.
Drav says nothing.
That makes sense. Thank you, Inspector.
Not at all.
Sergeant Iran, I think if you want to find them, if you really want to find them, you should do not what the spirit wardens do, putting boots on the ground, kicking down doors. You've seen where that's gotten them.
You see where I'm sitting. Does that sound like my style?
Mm-hmm. I think you should earnestly try to get in touch with them, using that humanity of yours, and sit down with them and have a talk.
I have a question for you, Mr. Drake.
Mm-hmm.
I understand this was some time ago, but how well do you recall the path you took underground?
I'm sure with a pencil and paper I could draw a map.
I hand him a pencil and paper.
Cool. Make a risky standard relate.
No problem. Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I can throw you a help. I was going to offer some of my memories for his memories.
Is that worth help, Judd?
Yes.
All right, sweet. Yep, there's a 6 there.
Cool.
Sweet.
There's a flash of a moment. You hand him this sharp wooden pencil, and you're like, I have made a terrible mistake.
I am very calculated. As a matter of fact, I am handing him a pencil and a piece of paper. I have heavy leather gloves on, and I'm prepared. I don't know if you remember, but when I had to fight Assassin Lady, I had metal sewn into my gloves, and I'm ready for him to come at my eyes so that I can deflect it. But I give him the exact same deadpan look, you know, like I did when he was like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think like he takes the pencil and like taps your hand, and like taps the glove, the armored glove, and then starts drawing a map. And hands it to you, folds it, and hands it to you.
Maya, do we have anything else that we want from this guy?
Well, he did say he could help with the body, but I don't know if that's...
Yeah, that's...
Did you want to do something with attunement to...
Yeah, for some reason I couldn't get out of my head, like, if... It sounds like his version of, like, a cigarette out of kindness is, like, the breeze, right?
Right.
Like, just getting out of here. So I was going to show him a glimpse of the sun from my Kotar memories and try and channel some of that Kotar energy to transport him there for a second.
Yeah. That's lovely. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll totally do that. I think, like, Maya steps forward, I think, and puts her Kota fingers to, like, Mistrix's temple with, like, just enough pressure to be like, I could fucking kill you if you try anything.
Yeah.
And then looks him dead in the eye and tries to, like, sort of summon, that sort of Kotar transport back to that moment in time, to show him a glimpse of sunlight.
Cool. Risky standard.
Heck yes.
I cannot help with this. This is outside my wheelhouse. Like, whoa.
Oh, there was a 4 in there.
Okay. I think the 4 is him getting something.
Oh, cool.
I think like you feel him reach out.
I'm sorry, Jen. Please continue before we resist the shit out of that. I don't
You
know.
feel him reach through your memories and grab the fact that Skinner had plans for the Emperor to be killed.
Oh, heck yeah. I can
You can also just say yes, that happens, but
what's more interesting? I do have warded, so I can spend an armor to resist this.
yes.
So I think like I can feel him reaching in my memory, my brain, and I think like
Yeah.
he probably fumbles through that place in my brain where my grandma used to be, and I think like
Yeah.
my grandmother's hand like grips around his wrist and sort of says like, you know, like not today. Like it's a nice try, but you
Yeah.
you have no idea who the fuck you were messing with.
Nice. Nice. Cool. So
And
you're
then,
resisting?
Yes, I will resist that.
Or
I
armor
of course
that, as the case may be, but yes.
yes, yeah, I will expand my special armor to resist a supernatural consequence.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yes. You feel him reach. And I think like it's funny that you picture it as your grandmother's hand when it's your hand.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right? Which is kind of interesting.
I think I sort of like when we break that connection, like I give him a likewise a knowing smile and be like, you know, it was very, very nice speaking with you, Mr. Trick, and sharing with you.
Click.
Thank you.
Click is the sound of the manacles going back on.
Yeah. And I think like you did that while he was under and trying to get something.
Yep.
Yes.
And he says, I can only be so helpful if you give me incomplete information.
You can be a lot more helpful than you have been. But I thank you for what you did do.
Well, thank you for my time in the sun. I appreciate it.
Of course. I'm glad I could share. It was nice getting to know you.
I think Drav... Go ahead.
Nope.
I think as we're walking out, I knock, I hand the key back to the guy. I show him that the dude is manacled. And then as we're walking out, I think Drav pauses for just a second, looks back at Trick, and just very calmly says, Moreland is a gun, not a hand holding the gun. And then just walks out.
Nice.
I think he says, thank you for the insight, Sergeant Aram.
All right. We can go look for a squid kill.
Yes, I'm so excited.
I don't even. So this is interesting, right? Like he told us, like, hey, you can put a lure out, like a lanternfish, and they might come and bite. But I have no idea what we can use to talk to them about. Like we can just be like, can you please tell us who the assassin is? But like, there's just not a whole lot that we can push on them with.
It's always threats. Like,
There
Like-
are. Yes, we could get scary. I don't know how far that's gonna get us, though. I assume they're... He's right. Going for raids and stuff isn't gonna work. We need an inn. But...
Here's a suggestion. Like we could, if we head into downtime after this, we could spend some to sort of do a project clock to try and find out like some leverage on them, whether it's like who some of them are, or like some kind of like stick or carrot to
Acquire assets would also work depending on what we need. But we kind of need to know what we're acquiring, right? Like, an asset can be anything. It can be information. It can be a person. It can be whatever. But in order to acquire assets as opposed to work a long-term project clock, we need to have a better idea of what the hell we're trying to acquire. Something is not good enough. Imagine a cool asset.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get the squid tattoos and
You can have my raven when I'm dead. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm down for going into downtimes. That talking to that dude is, of course, terrifying, but I had no idea how to necessarily leverage his information to something super useful. So maybe we do work a clock. Maybe that's a thing. Yeah, let's do it. I'm not hurt. Am I lying? No, I'm not. I'm not hurt. So, how do we want to break up downtimes?
Good question. I still have high society pariah, but
I don't know if you carry that or if you work on it.
And then I also need to alleviate some stress. I think that those are the two silly personal things I have going on.
Stress for me is going to be dangerous. I would try. Maybe overindulge. It'll be fun. Judge had some homework to come up with cool overindulgences. We'll see.
What's that? I have homework?
You had homework. Many sessions ago.
Okay.
I'm in that unfortunate place where if I don't de-stress, I'm gonna gain 3 stress. But if I do de-stress, there's a good chance of overindulgence. It's like 23% or something. It's pretty decent. So maybe we try that. All right, shall we do downtimes?
Yeah.
According to the rules, we have to go through the thingamajiggy. Judd, do you happen to have it handy?
Oh no, I forgot about this. I forgot we have obligations on top of everything else.
Yeah, I think I've got it.
Okay.
Bluecoat.
I think it's duty first, right?
Yep. The unit earns 2 duty per operation by default. If the unit made progress on the mandate, take +1.
I don't know
if
that
the unit
we did.
completed.
We found
I think you did.
information, but okay. All right.
It's worth a +1. You didn't complete a whole row for +4.
Okay,
but
that's fair.
You got a +1.
All right, cool. I'll mark it if that's okay.
Yeah, after an operation or conflict with an opponent, the unit takes heat equal to double the tier of the highest tier subject involved. Add +1 heat for a high profile or well-connected target. I don't think you did.
I don't think we gain heat because heat is usually when we like put pressure on someone or try to like leverage stuff. But we talked to a guy. We went through proper channels. There wasn't any problems really.
Right.
All right. What's next?
Paperwork and entanglements. Before entanglements, deal with paperwork. Blow off your paperwork and take +1d to one of your downtime rolls, or write reports and choose what you say.
Reports.
Yes, please.
Do you write what actually happened, cover for the blue, or throw someone under the bus?
What actually happened?
What? Is that the first time you guys are ever going to do that?
No, there was a couple of other times
like
where
one
we
other
didn't
time.
do anything wrong where we absolutely did that.
Okay.
I don't think there's anyone to throw under the bus. Like everything went. We're working on as best as we can. We're chasing leads. This is what we've done.
We explored like the crime scene, i.e. like the canals, and we talked to the people in the docks to track down some squid tattoos, and then we talked to Trick, who was related to
the case
in the past. Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, I just saw chat. Kelsey's like, overindulge. All right. So good.
Awesome. I love chat.
Yes, chat is the best. What's next, Judd?
I think entanglements.
Awesome. Heat. Oh no, wait, we didn't get heat and there was no killing or anything weird.
Yeah.
Entanglements it is.
Is it just?
You roll
Is it just 2d6? Take the lower.
It depends.
Yeah,
If we're at 0
2d6
heat, that's true. Or if we're at 0 pressure, that's true. What's our pressure?
Let me look.
I don't think we have any. For once.
Yeah, I don't think.
No, we don't.
I
We
don't
have
think so
none.
either.
Holy cow, we are clean on heat
Wow.
and pressure. That's like the first time we've ever had that happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 0 take the lowest, yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
2.
I have no idea what a 2 is.
I don't know if we've ever rolled that low.
No. This is unnerving.
A clean coat or cooperation. The Bluecoats expect you to take a cut of a score in exchange for looking for the other way, or cooperation. A +3 satisfaction asks you for a favor, agree to do it, or forfeit a +1 rep per tier of the friendly faction, or take a -1 status with them. If you don't have a +3 faction status, you avoid the entanglement right now. I think you avoid the entanglement.
All right, cool. Sweet, downtimes. That was easy.
Yay.
Whew.
Yeah.
All dodged. Do you want to go first, Maya?
Yes. I would love to. I think I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna indulge my bias of horse riding out in the Deathlands, but I think Maya tries to at least do it under the guise for herself of I'll try and scout out some exits to the city and explore some of the gaps or weak points in the lightning fence. But I think really she's just gonna go blow off some steam.
Cool.
I don't think she takes Issa with her. I was wondering if she would take Issa, but I feel like her and Issa.
Going on her own?
Yeah, I think so. Because last time her and Issa spoke, Issa wasn't too pleased with Maya. Was sounding a bit cagey about being a bit reckless.
Okay.
Ooh, I crit on on my stress. Does that do anything?
No, I don't think.
How much stress do you have?
6. So
yeah. No.
That's very lucky.
That is very lucky.
Shall we see if I overindulge?
Yes.
Cool.
Here we go.
My goodness, how many 3 triple sixes can we get in one game?
I'll say.
That's an overindulgence. Oh boy, so fun, Judd.
I feel like.
What were you doing?
That's a good question. I was assuming normal things like hanging out with. Actually,
your mom.
No. So I would have gotten an extra die if I was hanging with either Hopper or my cutter friend. I think I am actually hanging out with like my mom and my daughter. But remember that obligation vice is basically like you feel like you owe something to someone, so like it can be a drain on your time and your resources.
Okay.
It could but like traditionally the way overindulgences happen is that there can be like an extra complication that hits you right around then. It can be that you spend extra money that you may or may not have on that. Any and all of those are fine. I know that you had some overindulgences in your back pocket at one point. I don't know if there is one for drop or not.
Not for this one. I think
you can choose anything, Judd. Whatever you want to throw at me, I'm happy. Extra heat if people come down on us. Extra complications if you want to throw one specifically at me.
Yeah.
Because you can have any complication. Whatever suits your fancy.
That is true. That is very true. Hold on, let me look at the bad weather. Unit.
This is what I get for listening to chat. Awesome side adventures. I mean, I have been poking a lot of things and raking things across a lot of coals, old things that were best left dead. I'm sure there's something that can bite me.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone from local community, bad weather, the Bluecoats spoke to you, escorting locals, one of your context switches allegiances, a journalist from the ink rakes. A subject of your mandate becomes untenable due to institutional interferences. Yeah, that's what happens. I think a couple things happen, and this is how the narration happens. You both are getting your paperwork done. You're doing like your downtimey stuff, and it's the first time in over a year of doing this where there isn't a consequence, right? There's nothing bad happens. And so you're just kind of bracing for it and gritting your teeth and waiting. And it doesn't occur. And so there's kind of like a relaxation where you're both like, oh shit. And so I think you both go and Maya gets back to work and starts doing stuff, but she's kind of waiting on Drav, and Drav takes a while and spends time with his daughter and spends time with his mom and unwinds like a normal human should. And I think like he gets back after having probably his first weekend of just being a human in a year. And it feels like you've been gone a month, because like you've never gone 48 hours without going to the Justice Tower or peeking in or doing something.
Checking in just to make sure the case hasn't progressed. Taking files home to work on late at night.
Yeah. And there's like a bunch of message canisters on your desk. And you're just not used to that. And as you go through them, you see that the spirit wardens have taken in the eight-legged cult.
They've what?
They've arrested the eight-legged cult for illegal religious activity.
Dang.
A subject of your mandate becomes untenable due to institutional interference. Example, this person is a key witness in another case. You can't touch them. This comes straight from the top.
Oh, dang.
So I assume this is one of those moments where we have like a cool scene where Drav and Maya immediately go to Bellwether Crematorium and, you know, demand to see them. And they're just like, sorry, they're in the cultist cells. Nobody sees the cultist cells. That's not a spirit warden. Goodbye.
Yep.
But what about this fancy mandate? Sorry.
Following orders.
I think that they like give you a request paper to fill out. And they're like, we will process this.
Oh, I think if Maya's holding it, we see her hand like shaking a bit with how much she wants to just like screw this up and put it where it belongs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like you hand it to a spirit warden who's like behind a grate, and like you slide it, and then like the grate closes, and then their side of the grate opens, and they take it out, and they put the mirror mask up to a microphone and say, we'll process this and get back to you. We know where to find you. Thank you.
Can we get that how like finger up in the air, like, oh, howling with that, like they yeah.
I think Drav like actually hits the grate and it's just like, this is about Imperial assassins, you assholes! The Emperor's goddamn life is on the line! Nothing.
Silence. And I think that like it's not like there's a line because nobody comes to request anything of the spirit wardens, right? Like it's you guys, and yeah, the sound of your fist against the grate echoes, and that's it.
I think Maya has another workplace fantasy, which we see like through her sort of like flexing her fingers on her Kota hand a bit with that whole like I could burn this place to the fucking ground. But
Drav is trying really hard to convince himself not to do something incredibly stupid right now.
out of curiosity, what would Drav do if he could?
Drav is very trying very hard to focus on images of his mom and his family and not being in prison. That's really hard. I know why this happened.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you suspect?
It's the fucking liaison in the Justice Tower. He wouldn't have any idea what was going on, but I requested files from him. This raid happened because they know that we're looking into this.
I feel like you disturb one nest and another one pops up. What do we do from here? Aside from...
The correct answer, if I was still a raven, is rip his mask off, put a gun to his head, and ask him what the hell he did. But not today. I'm not getting fired over this today.
No, it would give the Lord Governor too much satisfaction.
I don't give a shit about that man. Okay, we have two things that we have to do. One is you're going to have to follow the roots of the creation of the Spirit Wardens.
Very well.
We still have a couple of leads. Not many. They're mostly played out at this point, but I've got a couple of puzzle pieces I can try to put together, but unfortunately you're also better at that. So, where do you think you would be more useful? Drav asks carefully, trying very hard not to give himself reasons to learn how to kill people without setting off bells.
Well...
Unfortunately, the only people that know who the killer is are locked behind bellwether walls, and right now we don't have an in.
Would Telsius have an in?
Telsius has keys. I don't know how well protected they are. He took us before to areas where the Spirit Wardens were. You could go and argue your case with him.
It's worth a shot.
I'll back your play.
Very well.
I am so glad I'm in armor with weapons right now. Okay. I don't... There are basically two paths, as far as I can tell, to the end of this line. I'm guessing that the only person that could kill the Emperor is somebody that can rip out souls. But they seem to need time and a private location, which seems to be really hard to do with an Emperor. So, we could keep... There are three big chunks of this investigation. Chunk one is who the hell leaked the information. And the thing is, on the Emperor's plans and the positions of all the guards and everything else, that's not that important. It could be like Bob the soldier. It could be somebody that's not even aware that they're giving up super valuable information. The better question is who is absorbing it. And if we listen to Trick and we listen to the rest of them, the cult of the eight-legged squiddy, is like super great at getting into and out of positions. They freaking live under Brightstone, which is like one of the most rich areas. If they're going to find out information on how to get in or out of a place, those are probably our targets. I don't actually understand what their whole beef in this is. I don't know why they care about the Emperor. Like, none of this makes any sense, but the only way we're going to find out is if we talk to them. Two, we could try to solve for serial killer. We could try to solve for who the fuck is Scratchy Man, right? Because if Scratchy Man... Because we know that Trick was captured... When? 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so Trick may be related to the death of Vay Morrison, who was a member of the Black Silks. But there was Silk Short Gang. He was their spider. I don't actually have a lot about that information, but Jedwin, I assume, tracked him from that. However, 10 years ago and 8 years ago, those cannot be his murders, which means that whoever is the new Trick is we could try and find the serial killer, right? Like we could do the same thing that cops normally do, which is trace his connection to the people that are involved, look for patterns, identify an individual, look for proof, right? Like that's our second avenue, is we could pursue the leads that we have and try and solve for criminal. Because I assume that's the Emperor assassin. I cannot imagine who the fuck else they have that could pull off a job like that. So, and three, if we can learn... Oh man, I really want to learn about the foundation of the Spirit Wardens and see if that gives us juice on them. But that might be a waste of time. That might just be me being grumpy with them right now. I think your Telsius play is probably much smarter. Okay, let's do the Telsius play. We'll pick one of the other paths after.
That sounds good. Okay. Also, I've not checked in with them for some time. You might get suspicious.
All right.
Cool. So the plan is to talk to Telsius.
Yeah, see what his pull and leverage is with the whole Spirit Warden organization. Whether if he can't convince them to do their thing and let us talk to these people, maybe he has keys that let him talk to these people. He can either do it on our behalf or get us in. Something. This is a we're stymied. Help. The answer may be I cannot help. In which case we are like, oh damn. I need a gif of The Witcher just going, fuck. So,
yeah. Telsius is back at your office. I think. Yeah, you guys went without him, and so he's just been missing you guys.
How coincidental.
Drev tries very hard not to be scarce.
And he says, "Where are we with the case?" I read the report, but I wasn't really sure what the next steps were. And
Telsius, this case is a barrel with many holes in it. Things keep leaking out, and we keep trying to cork them up, and then another leak springs.
You like your metaphors, Inspector Tui. How can I help you get this ship back on course?
Well, the eight-legged squid cult has, in somewhat good news, has been detained. However, we cannot touch them without waiting for God knows how long for Form 768B to come back. If it's indeed filled out correctly, I imagine it will come back with a big red X over it, indicating errors. Conveniently for them. So I was perhaps wondering if you might be able to hurry the process along a little bit, given the nature of our situation.
If we walk into Bellwether, they're going to stop us. They're going to find a reason.
Even yourself?
Yeah, they might.
Talcius, you described yourself as somewhat uncreative, but I am sure we can come up with some plan
Hmm.
to get around them.
He takes a key ring off of his belt and puts it on the desk and says, I have the keys to all of the Imperial buildings in Duskball, including the maps. And he takes a packet, like a leather satchel, and puts that on the desk too. He said, if there was a miscommunication of some kind, and while I was in the water closet, someone were to take that key and use it to gain access to the eight-legged cult, maybe break into the crematorium. I mean, there would be a dressing down, perhaps. But maybe it was just a miscommunication into how those items would be used and the timing of that operation.
And I think Maya, like her fingers like graze over the key, and then I think she freezes and sort of shoots Strava a look, and thinks back to the time when they recorded evidence and tried to submit it, and it falling over in court.
Because of my blood, I'm going to be like a beacon tower walking into crematorium. Anyone with attunement is going to see me coming from 1,000 miles away.
Well, if this is our one shot, we better take it and hit the target.
I think there's maybe a moment where Drav puts his hand over the key and, like, gives Maya the, like, not you look. Like, he looks at Telsius, like, right at the... Hello, Gigi! Meow. I think he gives you... I actually have a really curious question. So this is a little bit of a weird question. So I have a terrible plan. It is an absolutely terrible plan.
Excellent.
And by this is a terrible plan, I mean it is a fantastic plan that's only gonna end Drav's career forever. But it does involve Drav disappearing for a couple of days. So I don't know if we just want to smash cut to the future, or if I want to play a different character. I'm sure that you could run around with Nogs as your assistant for a minute. But I'm going to tell you my terrible plan so that you can all admire how awful it is. Which is, so the choice for my overindulgence was entanglement, and I believe that I can solve this by taking a different indulgence, which is, I get lost for a while. So I think Drav will cash in his sick days and vanish for about a week. And in that time, Drav is going to be a true spider, and he is going to go to the Imperial City, pick up the best thieves in Doskval who happen to live in a house that he knows, and along with the Dimmer sisters, he is going to attempt to stealth into Bellwether Crematorium and get what he needs.
Dang!
This is the look of Judd's like, I never know what you people are gonna do. And then we can make some rolls to see how terrible that is. But meanwhile, Drav is lost.
Wow, that's awesome.
Incredible.
Is it?
I want to run that like a job.
I mean, this is a game of blights. It literally is. It's the bust into Bellwether, steal a person, and leave. Specifically, I believe that the cult leader is named Bell. I have a note to that effect. So, yeah.
Let's do that. So there's definitely like a part of me that wants to stop now for the night.
I'll just play Blaze in the Dark next time.
Well, play 2 games, right? Like play the job of breaking into Bellwether and let Lauren play like either a Dimmer sister or a Wraith.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And then we do another job which is the investigation, which is Lauren playing Tui and Strash playing like Nogs or Lewitt or something.
Yes, that
And,
sounds
like-
amazing. Let's
And
do it.
and it's like this weird smash cut game where like we do two different jobs.
I am
With, like-
100% behind this.
Yes.
This feels awesome to me.
Okay.
I feel like
yes, let's do it.
All right.
I feel like this is the way.
Is that the plan?
Heck yes.
That is the plan. All right.
I-
All right.
All of my insides like went, "Whoa!" That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the plan is we're gonna break now, and we're gonna come back in 2 weeks, and we're gonna do. Do we have a preference for which order we want to do this in?
I think we'll
Ooh.
do. We'll try to do them both. I think.
Oh, same night.
I don't know.
See. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to prep characters ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Doable.
Yeah. But
So
maybe.
good.
But like, I mean, we all know. Who knows how it's going to go? So one might take the whole night. But let's see. I think it'll be really cool.
It's such a good idea.
No,
Awesome.
this is a terrible idea, Lauren.
It's a great.
It's a great
It's
idea.
a great bad idea. I love it.
It's such a great holiday present.
I just love the idea of Drav being like the Danny Ocean of Duskfall and being like, I'm just, I bet you're wondering why I brought you here. Well, Bellwether Crematorium has, been cocky for too long. It's time that we went in and took their shit. And you unveil like the imperial plans to the thing, and they're like, how did you get these? It's like, that's not important.
What is important is what it's going to cost to get you on board.
Right. Awesome.
That's
sounds great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we have a plan then. That's sometimes the game just derails from entanglement. I'm sorry, John Harper. Yeah. Okay. That's the game then.
Cool.
Amazing.
Cool.
All right. So do we do XP? Is that it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That is
write
it.
in our notes. Start with Danny Ocean heist plan. Yar. Okay. Excellent. Then do Maya plus Nog's investigation.
Oh my god.
Best day ever. Excellent.
You can't wait. Like
All
my
right.
face hurts from smiling.
I'm excited.
Okay, I didn't see this coming even a little, friends. All right, let's do it. Let's do XPs. Maya, do you want to go first?
Heck yeah. Okay, so no desperate actions. Honorably did duty and service to the Imperium or did what's right.
I believe you definitely did duty and service to the Imperium. I don't know about what's right.
No. No, I think I for sure just tried to get leads on the case. I tried to do paperwork, followed by the T, and yeah, I did very little of doing what's right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's what XP.
Cool.
Okay.
Express beliefs, drives, heritage, background. I feel like giving a serial killer a taste of the sun.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really cool.
I think it's also going up against. I know that Drav is like, look, Maya, your hand is gonna set every alarm and bellwether off. Like,
Oh yeah.
let me handle this, right? Like, we're gonna do this thiefy style, and we're gonna do it low on the like woo, right? Because all we're gonna do with the woo is like part electro-offenses. We're not gonna get weird because those guys are like hawks, and we're going into their den. But at the same time, Maya's like, yeah, we should go talk to Telsius. Hey, Telsius, can we break into Bellwether? Can you just be okay with that? Are you creative? And I don't know. That really speaks to beliefs and drives. Like, yes,
Yeah.
showing the sun is one thing, but that's yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's
In my
just-
mind too. like that scene with the key. I feel like Maya went forward with like her Kota hand, and then like we get Drav's like very gentle, like maybe not like hand on top, and then Drav's other hand takes the key, and Maya's like, ah, yes.
Actually, Draw's other hand, I think, passes over the key and it's just gone.
Oh yeah,
Right?
that's super good.
So good.
Okay.
That's amazing. And then I'll struggle with issues from visceral trauma. Not really. I tried to lean into being quite reckless. I feel like, I don't know, trusting Telsius is that a reckless feat?
Yes.
And trying to mind meld with a serial killer, I guess.
That was very reckless. That was very, very reckless.
Almost got the Emperor's plans out were it not for being thwarted.
Yeah. That would have been really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It's all interesting, but yeah, it's all, yeah.
And that's my XP.
Cool.
All right.
Drav
Let's do
her on.
Drav real fast. Drav does. You did your duty in service of the Imperium, or you did what was right? I definitely did duty in service of the Imperium. I don't know about doing what's right. I'm
Cool.
definitely going to go with 1 XP there. You express your
Awesome.
beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Yeah. I think
Getting your spider hat back on. Yep.
Get my spider hat back on.
Heck yes. And yeah. And then time with your mom as well and your daughter. That's always a delight to see.
Yeah.
All right. What else we?
And I'm gonna need a downtime with I want to like do a rewind downtime with Rona and Hopper because they're evolving too. Like they're not who they were when they started, and so there's like a nice downtime scene where like I want that to happen
now or
yeah. I think it's can we I have it down as like a thing I wanted to do, a free play.
Let me finish my XP real quick because I think it's done basically. But yes, just so that we don't lose the order of things. And you struggle with issues of your vice or traumas during the session.
Oh, heck yeah. We lost the cult.
Yup. And also, I believe I am being reckless. I'm just putting it out there.
Heck yes.
All right. Cool. So I think I'm gonna tick this over and put a dot into. Can get my 3rd dot of pursue, which is fine. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. I think I'm gonna get. I'm just gonna say here 1 more spider power because spider. I don't know what it is yet, but I will get one. All right, hit me, Judd. Yeah.
So I think it's another like it's Drav's new apartment, and so like we're getting like the Drav has dinner with Rona and Hopper, but like in the new place, and so like they're like around the pot and making their stew like just like they did in the old apartment. But there's more room definitely in this one, and it's more secure, and Hopper is like punching Rona's arm, and she's like, "You're gonna make me spill the stew. They're gonna make me spill the stew." And he's like, "When's your next fight, champ?" And she says, "Never."
Yeah.
And he says, "What do you mean, never?"
That gets Draw's attention.
And she like sips the soup, and she says, I was walking around all night a couple weeks ago because I couldn't find my apartment. I just couldn't remember where it was. I knew the address, but I couldn't find it. I don't have a way to fight safe. I don't hide behind my defenses. I charge forward and I go over people, and I can't. I'm losing something, and I don't want to lose any more. So there are a lot of young fighters who need coaches, and there are a lot of. You'd be surprised how many rich folks' kids in Brightstone want self-defense lessons. There are a lot of scoundrels about, I hear. And That's how I'm making my coin lately. I wanted to tell you guys. I didn't know how to.
Are you staying with someone?
What do you mean?
Just saying, I don't. What you're talking about is not the sort of thing that's fixable. We can't exactly go to a leech and get you a potion that fixes all the damage that's been done.
I'm all right.
You're alright
It it
today.
comes and goes. It comes and goes. I think
I understand. I actually do understand. I'm asking if you're staying with someone when it comes.
I've I've got someone who's looking out for me.